Hi everybody, this is my capstone project and I chose to do different colors absorb heat differently. So I actually chose this activity from the curriculum portfolio that I came up with. I got it from one of the websites and it was one that I was excited to try with my kindergartners, so I figured why not try it myself first. The materials you need are one sheet of black, white, yellow, red construction paper, a pair of scissors, tape, and then 4 ice cubes per group. Basically, the overview is students need to make 4 boxes using the construction paper, scissors, and tape. When I did it, I used staples just because I was trying to get it done quickly, but obviously tape would be much safer for kids. And then students place an ice cube in each box, spaced evenly away from the heat source, and then they'll watch and observe to see which ice cube melts the fastest. So here are the steps. First, obviously, I would explain to the students what the experiment is. Then the teacher would show the students how to make the boxes. Ideally, each group would have 4 kids in it, so each student can make 1 box. Teacher can walk around and assist as needed. And then students can share out their ideas about colors. Oh, black is a dark color, white is a light color, anything that they know or think about colors. The teacher can make an anchor chart with the students' responses. Then the teacher would hand out the worksheet, and the students would make their prediction. They would circle the color that they think would melt the ice cube the fastest and put an X over the ice cube that would melt the slowest. Again, if time permits, the teacher could make or take their predictions and put them on a graph for all the students to see. Then they would take the experiment outside. Students would put an ice cube in each box at the same time. Students would take their worksheet outside and they would record the order of the ice cubes on the bottom of the worksheet. They would number 1, 2, 3, 4 in the boxes based off of which color melted first, second, third, and fourth. And then the teacher could take the results from the groups and make a graph of those for the students to see. And then students would come together. They'd share out ideas about why their ice cubes melted in the order that they did. So here was my experiment when I did it. Made my 4 boxes, put 1 ice cube in each. I was a little surprised by my results. I really thought that black would melt for sure first. And it was in the lead most of the time, but actually red ended up melting the fastest. And I thought that the white would take the longest, but actually the yellow took the longest. The white started out really slow, but then it kind of caught up quickly. So I was glad I did it because I was surprised by my own results. In terms of STEM perspective, I thought it aligned most with STEM figure 8.3. The separate science discipline that incorporates other disciplines. To me, this was definitely mostly science-based. We're talking about colors, heat absorption, all of that kind of stuff. But also there was the incorporation of engineering with, making the boxes, showing the students how to make the boxes. When I read about this activity originally, there was also this idea of like relating it to real life things like a roof or a camera lens. I know I personally related it to, when I'm outside with my kindergartners and they're asking me, why am I so hot? And I always find it funny that sometimes they're wearing a dark colored shirt or, they have a couple layers on. Like I think it'd be interesting too if we adapted it and, did a box in a box and see if that made a difference. But I think there's a lot of things you could do with this. But again, I would say that it most went with figure 8.3. And in terms of being inquiry based, the students are participating in observation. The teacher is there as a support for the students. Obviously, the teacher is providing the question and the materials and the steps. So it's not completely like an open inquiry based activity, but students are the ones making the predictions. They're the ones actively carrying out the experiment. They're the ones making observations. And then the students use their evidence to explain their thoughts and understanding. So the teacher isn't telling them, what they should be thinking or even what they should be seeing. That's the student's job to take their evidence and turn it into their own understanding.